So let's talk about Disney's underrated sci-fi classic, Flight of the Navigator, which is celebrating, recently celebrated its 35th anniversary this year. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name's Doyle, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 1986 sci-fi adventure flick, Flight of the Navigator. Released by Disney, starring Joey Cramer along with Sarah Jessica Parker, Howard Hesseman, and a host of others. The film focuses on a 12-year-old boy who is abducted by an alien spaceship and has been transported from the year 1978 to 1986. The film was directed by Randall Kleiser, who most of y'all know, who directed Grease and The Blue Lagoon. The story was written by Mark H. Baker, Michael Burren, and Matt McManus. Now, apparently, this is a film with a young Sarah Jessica Parker in one of her early film appearances, since she had recently appeared in Footloose and Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Anyway, it was... The film's producers initially sent this to Disney in '84, but the studio was unable to approve it, as it was sent to Producers Sales Organization, which of course released the film internationally, which made a deal with Disney to distribute it in the US. Anyway, it's notable for being one of the first Hollywood films to use extensive CGI effects. Specifically, it was the first use of image-based lighting, and an early use of morphing in a motion picture. The film's also known to be one of the first Hollywood productions to feature an entirely electronic music film score composed using a synclavier, one of the first digital multi-track recorders and samplers. The score was done by Alan Silvestri, who the previous year did the score for Back to the Future. He'd also go on to do the two sequels as well as do the scores for films like Predator, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Forrest Gump, The Polar Express, and some films in the MCU, most notably The Avengers, along with Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Okay, that about covers it. Let's get into the story. On the night of July 4th, 1978, in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 12-year-old David Freeman walks through the woods to pick up his 8-year-old younger brother, Jed, from a friend's house when he accidentally falls into a ravine and is knocked unconscious. When he comes to, he discovers that 8 years have passed and it's now 1986. Police are shocked to see David fits exactly the same photo on a missing child poster, having not aged at all. David is reunited with his parents, who have now aged, and Jeff, who is now 16. Meanwhile, an alien spaceship crashes through power lines and is promptly captured by NASA. David is taken to the hospital for tests where his brainwaves reveal images of the spaceship. Dr. Louis Faraday, who has been studying it since its arrival, persuades David to come to a NASA research facility for just 48 hours for extra tests, promising him that they can help him learn the truth about what happened to him. There, the doctor discovers that David's mind is filled with alien technical manuals and star charts covering expanses of the galaxy far exceeding NASA's research. It tells the scientist that he was taken to a planet called Phelan, 560 light years away, in just over 2.2 hours. They realize that he has experienced severe time dilation, I misread that, as a result of having traveled faster than the speed of light, explaining why 8 years had passed on Earth, but not for him. He is unable to comprehend what Dr. Faraday and tells him and flees the room, making the doctor decide to keep David confined to finish his investigation, severely breaking his 48-hour promise. The next morning, following a telepathic communication from the spaceship, David secretly boards it and meets its robot commander, Trimaxian drone ship, or Max for short, which refers to David as the Navigator. After they escape from the facility, Max tells David that his mission was to travel across the galaxy, collect biological specimens, take them to Phelan for analysis, and then return them to their homes. Phelan's scientists discovered humans only use 10% of their brain, and as an experiment filled the remainder of David's with miscellaneous information. This includes all of the star charts discovered by Phelan's astronomers, some of which were shown to the NASA scientists during David's interrogation. Max then returned him to Earth, but did not take him back to his own time, having determined that a human would be unlikely to survive a trip back in time before leaving Earth. Max accidentally crashed the spaceship, erasing all the computer star charts and data. Therefore, he needs the information in David's brain to return home. While Max programs the spaceship for a mind transfer, David is shown the other remaining alien specimens on board and bonds with a Puckmarin, a tiny bat-like creature that is the last of his kind after a comet destroyed its planet. Max performs the mind transfer on David to reacquire the star charts, but in the process also contracts human emotional attributes, resulting in Max behaving eccentrically and making goofy laughs, which is where it really gets fun and what have you in this. So he and David start bickering, and their antics trigger several UFO reports in Tokyo and the US. Meanwhile, NASA intern Carolyn McAdams, who has befriended David, contacts his family and tells them about his escape in the spaceship. And as a result, Dr. Faraday has them confined to the house, and Carolyn is sent back to the facility. Now to the ending, you know the procedure like always. You have 5 seconds to stop this video, go to the description box below, and fast forward to the time below. If you've seen this movie already, please continue on after the 5 seconds. Thank you, here we go. Okay, you've been warned. When the spaceship stops at a gas station in the Florida Keys, David calls Jeff and asks him to send a signal to locate their new home, and Jeff sets off fireworks on the rooftop. David and Max arrive at the house, but NASA agents, having tracked the spaceship's every move, get there first. Fearing that he would be institutionalized for life if he remains in 86, he orders Max to return him to 78, but Max warns that this could vaporize David. But David accepts the risk. After the journey back in time, he wakes up in the ravine, walks home, and finds everything as he left it. During the 4th of July celebration, Jeff is surprised to see the Puckmarin in David's backpack. David tells him to keep it secret while Max flies home across a firework-lit sky, remarking, "See you later, Navigator," in the story. So why did I think of Fly of the Navigator? I gotta say, it was a blast. Now, I had tried to watch this before a few years back on the BYU TV channel and didn't get through it. But I gave it another chance and watched it on Disney Plus, who just so happens to be possibly bringing us an actual reboot of this sometime in the future. Anyway, the film's gotten some pretty good reviews and what have you. While the film may not have been a success and what have you, well, not much in ways, as the film went on to make 18 million, which that's fair enough, don't you think? Good. Anyway, yeah, I gotta give that credit. But however, it has become a cult classic and has a large cult following to this day among sci-fi and Disney fans. Now, as for our cast, we have Joey Cramer playing David Scott Freeman, our main character. Voicing Max is, can you believe it, Paul Pee Wee Herman Rubens himself, which you can identify his familiar Pee Wee laugh, although he was using a pseudonym, Paul Mall, however. Playing David's mother Helen is Veronica Cartwright. David's dad Bill is played by Cliff DeYoung. Sarah Jessica Parker plays Carolyn. Now, Matt Adler plays Jeff, the 16-year-old one, while Albie Whitaker does the 8-year-old Jeff. And Dr. Faraday is played by none other than Dr. Johnny Fever of WKRP in Cincinnati himself, Howard Hesseman, who the following month would go on to play Charlie Moore on ABC's Have the Class. The film also includes Jonathan Sanger, Iris Acker, Richard Liberty, and Raymond Fortune. Oh yeah, and Carrie Rogers. So anyway, that's about all I can tell you. The cast is pretty good, and the story's really good. I like the effects in my view. The humor is absolutely real good, and Alan Silvestri's score for this was so incredible and amazing. So that's all I can say. So the question is, would I recommend Flight of the Navigator? I would say yes. Or if you're not sure about this, I'd recommend you give it a one-time watch. Okay? If you're not satisfied, well, I can't say I didn't try, but I'm sure you'll really like it. It's really fun. I mean, if you're into those sci-fi flicks for the families from the 80s, like E.T. and Tron, which I will review those next year for their anniversaries, since I failed to do this for an anniversary review because it was released on August 1st of 86, so I just wasn't quick enough. So anyway, yeah, Flight of the Navigator. It's pretty fun. I think you'll like it. So, what are your thoughts on Flight of the Navigator? You can tell me in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button below, subscribe to my channel, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you a review of another film I failed to review for its anniversary, and that will be Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. So thank you for watching, and if you like this, you may want to consider checking out some of these other sci-fi videos and what have you. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of the original Back to the Future, or if you want, go to the upper right-hand corner and see my review of, well, a sci-fi sequel that came out the same year this did, and that being Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home. Or if you want something else, you can go to the bottom left-hand corner and see the Saturday morning TV log I did for the animated Star Trek. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.